I'm not here to teach you what to think. I'm here to teach you how to think. Got another question?
Again, you might cover this later, but I just don't have a clear picture. Are you inviting everybody you know? So whoever shows up, great. Or are you choosing people to invite to each one of these events?
When you're starting out, you start out, especially again, I'm assuming that you're coming in here and not having any social circles as it is. When you're starting out, you invite everybody you know to the different events you're setting up. The idea is that you want to let these people garner a reputation for you as a guy who's always going out and always trying new things. In time, especially when you get into stage 2, this is where you start getting very picky as to who you invite to what event. But when you're starting out, you may very well, let's say you hang out with people and you're not really sure about how open-minded they are. Maybe you want to save those more risque venues for later on in stage 2. But in stage 1, you're picking stuff that most people feel comfortable in doing, and you're inviting everybody you know. Every friend you have, if you've met a girl on the street and you got her phone number, you got her email, send her the invitation, and tell them all to bring a friend. So if a girl says, well, I don't know if I feel comfortable, well, why don't you bring a friend of yours? Bring 3 friends. When you get into situations like the invitation-only singles party, that's probably something that you're going to do in stage 2, maybe even stage 3. But if you're doing stuff like, hey, everybody, we're all going to go out stargazing at an open field. Here are the location, here are the coordinates. For that, you invite as many people as you can. Did that answer your question? One thing to remember about choosing your venues, you never want to take something that's too expensive. Unless, of course, you're aiming for people who have a lot of disposable income and you yourself have disposable income. So one week you may go to a movie and you have to factor in, well, it's probably going to cost me however much it costs now to go to a movie, between a ticket for yourself, a drink, a popcorn. You might be spending up to, what, $20, especially if you want to play some of the video games or something before the movie starts. You got to factor in, well, everybody that I'm inviting is going to have to pay the same amount. Am I inviting people who are really on a budget? Am I inviting people who have lots of disposable income and rather spend more money than that? That's why at the beginning, choose things which are generally accepted, something that a lot of people would want to do. And every week, because you're doing something every week, one week choose something that may cost up to $30. The following week, choose something that doesn't cost anything. And keep a nice variety going. And yes, you won't have the same people showing up every single week. That's a good thing. It gives you a chance to meet more people. Sometimes you'll have somebody who shows up maybe once every 4 weeks. But they'll come up to you, hey, how's it going? Oh, I remember you. You came to the museum. Yeah, nice to meet you. And they said, well, when we saw the email, when we got the phone call that you were going to this place, we just wanted to show up. Hey, great. Who'd you bring with you? Oh, I brought my sister. I brought my friend. Oh, this is my cousin. Oh, nice to meet you. We got another question.
So do you keep resending the invites to everyone week after week, even if they don't show up?
Yes. During stage 1, yes, you keep sending the invites, because for some people it's just a matter of, well, I'm not just going to go and show up with this guy, but if they get an email every single week to go and try something different, maybe by the 5th week they might say, okay, look, I got to find out what you're all about. What the heck is going on here? And again, after every event, you'll probably send out an email saying, oh, this was a lot of fun. This was really great. Thanks for everybody for showing up. It was good to see so-and-so, and it was good to see this, and we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs. They might start feeling more comfortable showing up, especially when it's someone new. When you get into stage 2, this is where you start to pick who you're going to invite and to what event. Another question?
Doesn't it come across a bit needy? Or is just I'm being a little insecure here?
It's needy if you say, I need you to come. Please come. That's needy. The point of the point man is to say, I'm going to go here whether or not you show up, but I would love to invite you because I think you'd have fun too. Do you see the difference? It's a very subtle difference. It's a very slight difference. When I would, let's say, invite people out, I would never say, please come. I would really love to see you. And, if you don't show up, I'm going to miss you. No, your good time is independent of whether or not they show up. And that has to be communicated with the way you act. If they don't show up, you can't say, oh man, why didn't you show up? If they contact you in any way, hey, how's it going? It's as if you've never invited them to begin with and they didn't show up. And they say, yeah, well, you've been sending me invitations. Oh, so you've been getting them. Oh, that's good. Well, the reason I didn't come in is, hey, don't worry about it. You were probably just busy. Well, I saw this invitation and I was wondering if what's going to be happening there. Oh, well, this is what's going to be happening. If you can make it, that would be really great. Do you understand the difference? Because if you go up and you're calling people, please show up, please do this, you're making your good time dependent on whether or not they show up. If nobody shows up, you're still going. This is why the attitude is, I'm going whether or not people show up. I'm going to go to the petting zoo whether or not people show up. There's an animal shelter that is having an open house for people to come in and pet the dogs and to give them some love and attention. I'm going to show up. Hope to see you there. Be great. Do you get the difference? We have another question?
What happens if too many people show up? I've had situations in the past when too many people show up and I all know them they're all from different backgrounds and I don't give enough attention to each one of them, and it just sort of fails and they go away disappointed because, is there like an optimal number of people? How do you deal with all of that?
Okay, this is where we start getting into some calibration issues. So the first thing I want to address, okay, in this, when you're the point man, it's not your job to have fun at these events that you're setting up during stage 1. So when you're saying they didn't have any time with you, that's for you to time manage. That's where you have to make it a point to say, I have to speak to every single person who's showing up here. And where you go up to them and you spend 5 minutes with them and you start off by saying, wow, a lot of people have shown up here. I'm so glad you could make it. Are you having a good time? Did you, and ask them, like, do you need something to drink? Because if you need something to drink, you can go over there. And if you need something to eat, you go over there. And if you